welcome to a Sunday version of The Escape with Nick and Adam. How are you doing today, my friend?
There were these two guys in a lunatic asylum.
I was like, wait a second. This is starting off weird.
We've
Like, oh no. We've gone rogue. We've already gone weird.
already gotten weird. Why don't you tell the folks at home what that means?
I will, but I have a quick announcement. So typically we do our show on Tuesday evenings. This Tuesday coming up, we have our friends from Night of the Chihuahuas coming back. It's an indie comic book. Go check them out over on Instagram. And they also have a website, nightofthechihuahuas.com. Go check those guys out. A lot of fun. We're going to talk comics. We're going to talk indie comics. We're going to talk about a whole bunch of nonsense. Not nonsense, but nerdy nonsense. So it'll all be good. But getting back to what Adam was talking about, we released over on our Instagram and our YouTube page a quick trailer for a little passion project that we're working on. We are doing a dramatic reading of the Batman the Killing Joke. So where Adam and I do the main voices, but we're gonna have some voice actors, friends of ours, come and do parts for us because there's female parts and no one wants to hear us go. So I know we have some friends of ours that are lined up that are willing to help us out with that. But keep an eye out for that because it's going to be broken up too. I don't even know if we've decided how many parts we're going to break it up into. But we're going to break it up into bite-sized pieces, a few minutes piece each, minute pieces here and there, and continually go through the whole Killing Joke comics. So,
Yup.
Anything to add to that, Adam?
Just excited about doing it. I'm having fun doing it with you. I think your teaser trailer was awesome. I'm hungry for people to see what else, we've got planned for them. So,
yes, we're not just nerds that talk about stuff. We have talents that not even we know about.
Right. At this day and age, I'm like, well, I can kind of like just do the things I like to do when I was a kid, but in an adult way.
Right.
I can literally say I played with toys all day today, but I shot setups. You know what I mean? I did setups. I did, for a video. So it's cool.
Yeah, it's not called playing when you're editing videos. So, there's a nice distinction there. We're like, technically, I'm doing technical stuff here. So it's not really playing, even though we're just trying to make toys look cool and talk about toys that are cool. So.
Right.
All right. Go ahead.
Not shooting a news anchor or a weatherman.
Well, Adam, why don't you talk about the review that you're working on right now?
The 2-pack of, it came out like 2 weeks ago, but Booster Gold and Blue Beetle, DC Multiverse, Todd McFarlane's DC Multiverse. It's awesome. Like, it's a fun 2-pack. It's got a great background. Booster Gold and Blue Beetle are a iconic friendship in the DC universe that I wasn't even fully aware of until recently, but I think it was 86 or 87 when Booster Gold was invented, and prior to 85, you'll learn this in the video too. Duncan Hines, no, why would I think of Duncan Hines right now? I don't know, but
no one knows.
Charlton Comics was publishing Blue Beetle prior to the Crisis of Infinite Earth. So that's it, man. It's fun. I don't want to give too much away. You're gonna see the accessories and all that kind of stuff. I hope I've set up some nice, entertaining, creative shots for you guys. It's well lit. So rock and roll. And the next one after that, Nick has requested it be the Man Bat. So Man Bat will be afterwards, and I did make this announcement in the video. It's just not out yet. We're one action figure away. This podcast is one action figure away from having the complete Starro build.
So that's going to be over on our YouTube channel, and if you have not subscribed yet, please go over there and subscribe and like. And if you like what we're doing, please share. So it helps the channel a lot and helps the channel grow, and that's how YouTube works. That's one of those things, like, we're in essentially the same age. You're a year older than me. I'm 41. You're 42.
We're the
And
same age, dude.
first age, fine. Right now, anyway. Anyway, not the point. But it's like some
Right,
people are like,
no.
oh, you're on YouTube. That's nice. And they're like, and they don't want to give you like they don't know how YouTube works, so they don't know to go to subscribe to the channel because it helps. Because a lot of people are like, oh, well, how can I help? Blah blah. Blah. I was like, just go to YouTube. I mean, you might have to make a Google account or whatever, and then just give a quick subscribe. Never have to watch the show again. Appreciate it if you did, but you don't have to. And I remember when we first started the channel, I told my nephew we were out of town and we went to my sister's house for Thanksgiving, and I told my nephew, he's like, that we started a YouTube channel. I was like, oh, okay. And he literally went around to everybody's phone and subscribed, like in the house. Like my sister's got a house.
That's awesome.
Usually for like Thanksgiving, she
Thank you.
20 people in the house, and he just goes around like, hey, Grandma, guess what? You just made an account and you subscribe to their channel because he's younger. He knows how YouTube works, and it's just he's just like, yeah, I know what you need. I'm gonna hook you up. And Alec, if you ever watch this, thank you, sir, for helping out the channel. That was the first time I was like, that's our biggest boost in subscribers to date because Alec just like so. But helps a ton. Thanks, guys, so much. I just want to thank all the subscribers who are watching and are subscribed. Thank you so much. Appreciate all the support. But once again, before I forget again, but please check us out Tuesday. We have our friends coming back for Night of the Chihuahuas, independent comic. We're going to talk. They have new projects coming up, so definitely check those guys out. Help support those guys. Support if you like comic books in general, or especially if you like indie comics. If you don't like what the big publishers are putting out right now, go check out some indie comics. You'd be surprised the quality that's coming out of a lot of the indie books. And one of them right now is Night of the Chihuahuas. So,
yes.
All right. So, getting to the show, Adam, we're going to talk about She-Hulk. The first episode of that was released on Disney Plus. There's Star Wars news. There's positive DC comic news.
Yeah.
Right. So, let's get into it. We're talking first up, She-Hulk, Adam. All right. Sorry. Before I throw it to you, let's do some quick work here. So I'm gonna give some basic information.
Did you watch it?
I did watch it. Watch it with my wife. So, She-Hulk obviously just came out this week. Jennifer Walters navigates the complicated life of a single 30-something attorney who also happens to be a 6'7" superpowered Hulk. Creator is Jessica Gao and stars Tatiana Maslany, Mark Ruffalo, Ginger Gonzalez. I think that's the bulk of the cast. So yeah, Jamila as, is it Titania, or how do you say that?
Oh, Tatiana
So
Maslany.
yep. So, no, I'm sorry, I know Tatiana Maslany, but Jamil's character, is it Titania?
Oh, where? Wait, where's your mouse pointing? Oh, Titania.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Processing. But it looks like we are going to get some characters we haven't seen in a while. We're going to see Tim Roth reprise his role as Abomination.
Yes.
Charlie Cox is coming back as Daredevil.
A more lighthearted Daredevil.
Yeah. Benedict Wong is coming back as Wong.
I have got to say something, please, about Wong. What
You
the
love
fuck?
Wong?
No, what the fuck? I mean, what's his deal, man? Can't we just put Doctor Strange back on the seat there? I mean, isn't there some kind of technicality? Why is he important? Anyway, that's all.
He's the Sorcerer Supreme.
No, he's the Burrito Supreme.
Burrito Supreme.
Tenacious D. Was that?
Yeah.
Was that? Yeah. We reign supreme. Burrito Supreme.
Burrito Supreme.
I had a burrito. I got a Burrito Supreme in the fridge.
Nice.
Okay, so sorry to interrupt you. Go ahead.
Yeah, so I'm not gonna lie, Adam. The marketing for the show didn't help. It didn't help me at all. And I understand what they're trying to push because it's a all-female, obviously female-led cast, female executive produced, female created, female directed. Fantastic. But the trailer that on IMDb that they released, that didn't help.
I have a lot to say about that right now.
Yeah, go ahead.
I
Go
wasn't
crazy.
gonna
Go crazy.
I was not gonna watch this show because I expected something. When I was really happy when I heard they greenlit a She-Hulk show, and now I've progressively seen some of their stuff on Disney Plus, and some of it's been great. A lot of it's been lukewarm. I loved Hawkeye. That's all I can say about that one. I liked WandaVision and I liked Loki. Everything else, well, I guess I like it all. Whatever. Moon Knight sucks though. But what I'm going on here is that trailer. When that trailer came out, everything I wanted, I didn't think I was gonna get. I was like, oh man, what a piece of shit. And it didn't look. It wasn't saying anything about what was going to happen in the story. Like if I could have heard Jennifer Walters, say to Bruce Banner, I don't want to be a superhero. I want to go back to my life. I don't care. I would have been more curious about the show and thinking I might have got what I want. Instead, I saw the show and I got everything I wanted. I was surprised. I really liked it. Now, could that fall apart? Yes.
Yeah, I was pleasantly surprised as well. I sat down and watched it. Honestly, I expected to hate it. A lot
Me
of
too.
the usual suspects that I watch on YouTube did nothing but pan it. A few people said, "Hey, got to give it a chance," and that's one of the things that we do here is, and not to say, "Oh," but I can take all that information and I can still sit down and watch something objectively. I can always set it aside and say, "Well, what do I actually think?" and do my best not to be persuaded by anybody else. I sat down honestly not expecting to like it, and it wasn't bad.
Yeah.
Like you said, is there a huge potential for this thing to go right down the hill? Sure, but I do like Tatiana Maslany. The biggest complaint was the CGI. The CGI, certain points, not terrible, but the part of the problem with Marvel right now is they have set such a high benchmark for themselves that anything that comes under there is garbage. And now when you have a TV show with a TV show budget, a little bit higher than your standard TV show TV show budget, it's not bad. It's not terrible.
You know what though?
But there was a few points where I go, ooh, that wasn't great.
That higher budget that they get for a TV show is probably spent on the talent they get to put in it.
Well, yeah, I mean, it can't be cheap to have Mark Ruffalo come back.
No,
at all.
Or Tim Roth, for that matter.
Both of them. Just speaking from episode 1, I'm sure whatever contracts they have them under, so they can use them for whatever.
But they got to pay them.
Yeah,
they got to pay them, and they're not cheap.
Well, that was one of the biggest reasons they had to get rid of Robert Downey Jr. because he's just far. I mean, at this point he might be a quarter of the budget.
Right.
For Tony Stark, and people think, oh, well, maybe Robert Downey Jr. will come back and be like, not unless they get desperate. But getting back to the point,
they're gonna get desperate, bro.
Yeah, I know. That being said, overall, Adam, and IMDb's got the rating right there up in the corner. It's 5.5. I'd say I give it about a 6. If I had to choose. Now there's always. And golly, I don't know why this always seems to happen now, but it's become one of those unfortunate trends. Anytime there's a new large IP, anytime an big IP like Marvel, Star Wars comes out, there's always the review bombing, right? I don't keep hearing that term. And it's one of those stupid things because it's always portrayed in the negative, but it happens on both sides. Like before the show even came out, if you went to IMDb ratings and actually clicked on see what people are rating at, there's like 10,000 reviews as 10 stars, 10,000 reviews as 1 stars. And it's just like, all right, well, we're starting at 0 again. So good, good job.
Yeah, but no shit.
It's one of those things that it's always ends up averaging out usually anyway. And I think 5.5, 6, it might be a touch on the low side. I know, like I said, a lot of YouTubers are kind of giving it not high marks, calling it crap. But maybe this is part of just my mentality when I come into things. I always come in low. So when anytime there's anything positive, I'm like, hey, not bad. So and that's kind of where I'm at. I'm very tentatively going, hey, not bad.
Right. Right. No, I'm going with an 8 because it was a pleasant surprise for me. I actually got what I wanted out of it. I couldn't believe they did the breaking of the fourth wall. She-Hulk was the first comic book character to do that in any recent history. I don't know if they did it in the 60s or 50s or 40s, but I loved that. I love that the show knows what it is. It knows that it's a comedy, but it also knows it's almost as if just from this pilot, aside from WandaVision, it's almost as if it's the most solid piece of the puzzle they've put out. And you know what? Why WandaVision doesn't work anymore? Because of that stupid Doctor Strange movie. Anyways, I digress. So I hope they don't ruin this later. But it knows what it is. It knows it's a comedy, and it knows it's attached to a real cinematic universe. Like when they're talking about the Sakaar. Was that a spaceship? Yeah, it was a Sakaar class, blah, blah, blah. How does he know that? What has he been doing during the blip? All this kind of stuff. You know what I mean? He was on Sakaar. When he woke up, didn't have his memory. There's a lot of things. A lot of people are talking about stuff like that. But I think that what makes the show awesome is its charm. And you don't get a lot of TV that's charming. You know, that just kind of hits you by the feels, but not the, oh, that's terrible. It's like, that was some, feel good TV. Now, one of the funniest things that I think, or ironic things, I like ironic comedy. Jennifer Walters in the comics is just got a career blazing for the district attorney spot. And in the comic books, once she becomes She-Hulk, she takes the criminals in, and then by day she's a defender. She switches over to be a defense attorney. So this should be good. And again, I have not read a She-Hulk run. I just did some research, and I've always kind of read about her on the backs of cards and stuff like that.
Yeah, this is clearly a different part of the MCU that we're used to seeing. It's supposed to be a comedy. It's supposed to be funny. So if you don't take it as that, once again, I don't mean to get on some of the other YouTubers, but man, sometimes they take shit far too seriously, far too critically. And when it's a comedy, when it portrays itself as a comedy, you got to let it be a comedy. That means you have to let it be a little bit more lighthearted. You can't be, going after it.
Yeah, absolutely.
That was part of my issue with the new Predator movie, Prey, where they very distinctly chose a time period. I was like, okay, I was like, you chose this time period. You chose it for a reason. You better be historically accurate. With the comedy, it's just like, we're just trying to keep it light. And anybody who knows anything about the character, the fourth wall breaking, yes, breaking the fourth wall before Deadpool did it, before, everybody thinks, Deadpool's the greatest thing that's ever been. But no, people were breaking the fourth wall well before that. And I just want to talk real quick about one YouTuber who I really like, and he did a great video. And his channel is
I want that poster.
Call Me Chatto. He did. He's a former TV exec, and he did a great breakdown as to. So it's essentially a sitcom, and being a former exec, he knows exactly what a sitcom, all the components, all the ingredients that are made in a sitcom, and what a sitcom is and what it's not. And
Right.
so, I really recommend going and check out this video if you can, because if you really want to know, hey, why they're doing certain things specifically for this show, he's kind of going to give you a breakdown as to why. So once again, he's just a great YouTuber in general. Does a lot of great videos. So Call Me Chatto. Go check him out, and just seems like a good dude. So,
cool. He's going on the list, man.
Yeah. So that being said, it's a sitcom, and you're good. That's always the biggest issue with everybody's claims with the DCEU, right? It's too dark. Well, this is, and the Marvel is accused of being lighter and funnier, right? Well, this is going even farther. So
To its detriment.
right, to its detriment. And trust me, that was one of my biggest issues with Thor: Love and Thunder. I was like,
Blech.
yeah, what's not to laugh at? Well, the main characters has terminal cancer, and we're talking about someone who's literally killing gods and killing people's faith. What's not to joke about?
Yeah.
So,
The only reason I liked that movie is I was sad when I saw it.
I was sad. It made me less sad when I left.
Yeah, I was like, oh, I thought it was a good movie. It was great. Then I look back, it doesn't hold up.
Yeah. Yeah. That being said, for what it is, I thought it was a good show. Tatiana Maslany does a great job. She does a good job as portraying the when she's just herself, not the Hulk. She's kind of very introverted, just pulling up that very, just doesn't really want to be seen. And then once she becomes the Hulk, it's a different animal.
Right.
Literally.
In the comics, she likes being the Hulk. She stays that way.
When I think that'll be something that's really developed throughout the series is right now she does want to be Hulk. That's the whole issue of the first issue. Whole problem with the first episode, you have Mark Ruffalo's coming back as Bruce Banner, basically saying, no, you're a superhero now. And she's like, no, I'm not. He's like, no, I don't want to be a superhero. He's like, no, you got to be. She's like, no, I absolutely do not have to be. I don't want to be. And, I need to figure out how to go live my life. And he's like, and that's
all this.
That's all the first episode is.
Yeah. But it's when she walks away from it all, I think it's great. I love when they're fighting. When she gets mad and charges him and he just holds her by the head, he's like, okay, come on now. But then she starts, and I like how he claps. She goes flying back, and then she tries it, and she can't, and she does it harder. And she's like, I love how she does that,
The only thing I thought was dumb is when she got in the Jeep and started driving, the Jeep started pushing. I go, nope. I was like, that Jeep ain't moving the Hulk.
Oh, when she hit the Hulk and he went flying. Oh yeah, and he jumped on the hood.
Yeah, I'm like, nope.
You just wrecked that car. You
just
wrecked that Jeep.
I was like, the only thing that is getting closer to the, part of the Jeep that's getting closer is the Hulk is destroying the Jeep, and you are by proxy getting closer because it's just being crushed. He's not. I was like, you're not moving him, but that's my only, thing. But
and you know what? That's just a little minor.
Yeah, it was like, all right, let it go. One of the bigger complaints that I've seen other people make is how she's better than him and yada yada. I think one of the things that they develop and they establish pretty quickly in the show is that almost brother-sister relationship and that brother-sister rivalry.
Yeah.
Where she can do everything better. He's literally just trying to, show her stuff, and she's just trying to outdo him just because you're my cousin and that's what we do. And I think it's one of those things that people, blow out of proportion. So.
And I think that her logic as to how she's managed anger her entire life and why, I think that was very well put in this. You know what I mean?
See, okay, so that's part of the issue. I that is part of my apprehension where I understand all female-led leads, cast, writers, the whole thing. Please, for the love of God, do not pull on the feminist tropes of my life is so hard just because I'm a woman. You're a man. You don't know what it's like to have a hard life. It's like, oh, for Lord save me. Please don't go there, because that just falls into all the feminist nonsense, feminist TV show stuff that I've been avoiding since the 90s. I say, and the only thing that will, as long as they still don't have like the pop, the Spice Girls show up and start screaming girl power. I mean, that's
ridiculous.
But you know what I'm saying.
I know what you're saying, but you believe that women should be considered equal in the workplace and stuff like that.
Of course.
Yeah,
But
that's my point. Like this character has had to fight to become, you know what I mean? And I find that interesting, especially if it was part of her canon from the 70s, 80s, and on, you know.
Yes, but it's not pulling on that. It's establishing in 2022, and for the last 40 years, there's always been and this is something Marvel has done over and over and over. Oh, there's always a toxic male holding down the female, and of course we have that in the only male character, the only male lawyer character who's like, oh, don't screw this up, and blah 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 blah. It's like, okay, there's the toxic male in the room. All right, cool. So she's got to show him up. I was just like, there's that stuff I've been watching for 30 years, and I'm sick of it. I was like, can we just get a normal human male who isn't a complete douchebag, or who's just the guy and not just the most evil narcissistic prick that's ever been?
You can't get Harry Connick Jr. to star in everything.
I love Harry Connick Jr.
Well, no, so do I.
Yeah, so's my wife.
Yeah,
Damn you, Harry Connick Jr.
He's a good guy. Probably the only one out there.
Yeah. So, all right, Adam,
I'm just fucking around.
Harry Connick Jr. Who knew we were talking about him?
I always goof around. With someone at work. I always say, "All right, for the rest of the day, if you don't like it, you have to get rid of me. I'm gonna walk around acting like Harry Connick Jr. from Independence Day." There you go.
There you go.
Wouldn't it be cool to walk around like that all the time? Hey, what's going on? You know, I'm just not that guy.
Like a nice Southern guy.
I don't know what he was. He didn't seem like I couldn't tell if he was Southern, or I couldn't tell if he was like from Boston.
Harry Connick Jr.'s not from Boston.
It just is like a messed up accent. I can never place it.
It very well might be just a terrible, weird Southern accent that he, like some type of Southern drawl that, that I'm unaware of. But just doing a random Southern accent, turns out, stupid Midwesterner here did not realize there were different types of accents. Because I know there's like a Texas accent. I know you got your New England accent. I know it's not the South, but you got your New England accent, and then there's even got like a California accent. Yeah, Florida. Florida's got that Florida, Georgia area's kind of got its own thing. Everybody's got their own way. Hell, even Midwest. Yeah, I mean, people will say like, "Oh, hey, don't you know that's a Wisconsin, Minnesota thing." We don't talk like that here, unless you're in the Yooper, which is the Upper Peninsula, which is what we call the Yooper accent.
Yeah,
but
I don't know.
I don't know Harry Connick Jr.'s accent, and
he's a great singer. He's a great singer, perfect singer, right? Perfect singer. Maybe his normal talking, maybe it's just a speech impediment.
All right, I got to find out where Harry Connick Jr. is from. Oh, he's from Louisiana. Okay, another one. That makes more sense because New Orleans has that whole Creole thing going too. See, I don't even know why I'm talking about this because I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. So let's move on.
We're talking about Independence Day.
I'm talking about Harry Connick Jr.
Yeah,
have some respect. Adam, She-Hulk. Are you continue to watch it? Are you giving it a positive review for people to watch?
Yeah, as a matter of fact, you asked me if I'm going to continue watching it. I happened to see some clips from future episodes. I was like, oh, I can't wait to see the next one. So, yeah, I'm ready to go. I want to see what happens after that courtroom and everything.
Yeah, I am tentatively giving the positive review because, once again, they did zero. Their marketing did zero to help the show, and especially when you have the interview with the creatives and all that coming out and say, it's like Ally McBeal, and I was like, that doesn't help. Trust me, stop saying that.
I'm not sure what morning show she was on, but it's the one. He's an African American fella. He's real tall. There's two other ladies with him.
Is it Michael Strahan?
he's kind of got a gap in his teeth. I think he used to be an athlete.
That's Michael Strahan.
Okay, so she was on that show, and the ladies brought it up that, and I just saw the clip on YouTube that people are saying it's more like, it's like Ally McBeal. And she's like, no. What did she describe it as? I
Don't
can't
say
remember.
that.
Yeah, she described it as more tongue in cheek in a comedy than Ally
Yeah.
McBeal. She's like, it's not. I just remember. I wish I could have remembered what she actually described it as, but I can't.
Yeah, so I'm gonna stick with my 6. Not bad. It's good enough to at least I'll keep watching. Hopefully it does not fall off the rails and fall off a cliff and burn a fiery death. But we'll find out.
Yes, we shall.
All right, and getting into some Star Wars news. I know this was announced last week, but they are supposed to be re-releasing Rogue One into theaters, but with Andor footage. With it. So, are you interested in going and seeing Rogue One in the theaters for the Andor footage?
No.
Okay.
I would go see Return of the Jedi with Andor footage, but I've seen Rogue One in the theaters, and I need to see Jedi, and I think it's more important. Besides, you know what I will do on opening day? I'll come home and watch it on, TV. I'll stream it.
I don't even think I saw Rogue One in the theater because that was probably one of those. I wasn't sure if Disney was what Disney had planned for Star Wars. And
shit, Rogue One was awesome.
Yeah, I think it's one of those. It's actually a very good plan on their part because it is universally considered probably the best thing that Disney's put out besides Mandalorian. So why not? And it's based off character from Rogue One, so why not just release it? Try and add to some of that, get some more money. I'll probably go check it out if I have time. It's not a priority, and I'm definitely not going for the Andor footage, but I think I might go check it out.
When's the release date? What's it up against? Because I mean, that all depends on what else is out too. Because if it's Halloween time,
well, I think it's supposed to be soon. I think it's the 26th. So, Google search.
Google the other white meat.
La 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 la. That helps nothing. So here. So everything you need to know about the re-release.
Did you watch the end credit scene?
Yes. Yeah. Okay. So here's one of the things I have issues with when it comes to that. So getting back to the She-Hulk. So that was part of the thing that came out before that part of the trailer. So they realized that, was quote unquote virgin shaming Steve Rogers. And that
whatever.
There were people saying that, yeah, they were virgin shaming.
How about fuck those people?
Well, yeah. So, but anyway, here's my problem, or here's my issue. Because I'm always about flipping things around, seeing things from a different perspective. If, let's just say they had two guy characters saying, hey, I wonder how many people Black Widow has slept with, in her missions to get the job done, quote unquote. Will that fly in this show? I don't think so. But just because it's okay to mess with a guy or mess with Steve Rogers, because that's one of those stupid things that's been floating around, the rumor mills. Oh, was Steve Rogers a virgin? I'm like, why is that? Why did that even need answering? But we got the answer.
We did.
Adam, Steve Rogers, not a virgin.
No, I never thought he was. I figured he slept with the USO girl.
Well, I'd say there's that also, and here's my thought. I was like, I never gave it 2 seconds of thought if that guy had sex or not. I didn't care. It gets back to the whole comic book sexuality thing. I don't give a shit. I don't care who you sleep with. That does nothing for me story wise.
You know what though? You're being honest and brave enough to put your position in this out there.
And I
I agree. I agree that the thing with the man wouldn't fly, and it wouldn't even fly with me.
Right.
In my opinion, it's okay for a woman to do that. It's just not okay the other way around. We're
Yeah.
different people. We're different
It's
creatures.
it's just one of those weird double standard things that everybody's just like okay with.
Yeah, but people, men, some men. I don't think us. I don't think no, not me. But when they talk about that kind of stuff, sometimes a lot of times they got malice in them when they talk about it. And I've met some dark people out there. You know what I
Oh,
mean?
sure.
You know, like when he's sitting around talking about a girl, oh my god, she's stunning and this, and yeah, you get a little dirty mouthed and all that kind of stuff. But when you're talking to somebody who really like makes your spine, freeze, and I just don't perceive that from women when it comes to that kind of stuff. Because at the end of the day, it's not the sexes or whatever with them. It's a totally different way of being aroused and turned on. So
Yeah. I'll just leave it at men and women are different, and we just think and talk differently. So, and that might not be okay with some people say, but that's just how it is. So,
yeah,
anyway,
yeah.
moving on. So, I did find a quick article about everything to know about the Rogue One re-release. This came out actually a couple weeks ago. So, this one's from Yahoo News. Da, 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 da. So, yeah. So, according to Fandango, the movie will play in select theaters on Friday, August 26th. The limited screen is also set to sneak peek at the new Disney Plus series Andor. They don't say how long. I'll probably have to go to Fandango to see if it's a theater near you, but um, I hope there's one close to me.
Yeah.
That's August 26th. So that's gonna be what, this Friday, next Friday, Andor, not Andor, but Rogue One being re-released into select theaters. Check your local listings, check your theaters to see if it's coming to a theater near you. All right, so more Star Wars news. So Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau gave an interview to Entertainment Weekly about some of the upcoming projects that Star Wars has coming up. So obviously, with the re-release of Rogue One, that leads into Andor, more bookable with that Skeleton Crew, Ahsoka, and Mando season 3. Adam, any of those you plan on checking out?
Ahsoka and Mando season 3.
Yeah. Andor. Okay. All right. I don't want to come off as hypocritical because I am going to watch probably most of these shows. I at least have to give them a chance. But with the Kenobi series, I've kind of said as my fandom level is at about close to a 0 as you can get with Disney Plus stuff. And if you want to, leave in the comments about what you think, what your level is at the your let's say Disney confidence level in Star Wars and Marvel for that matter. Because mine's about as close as you can get to 0 without being negative. But yeah, I'm still really intrigued by Ahsoka. I'm a fan of Rosario Dawson in general. I think she's might be the perfect person to play Ahsoka. Skeleton Crew, I don't know a whole ton about, so let's look that up real quick because I'm not sure if that's an animated show or not. So, Skeleton Crew follows a group of kids who are about 10 years old who get lost in the Star Wars universe. Okay. That one's
What?
yeah, Jude Law is the top cast in that one.
So, did they get lost in space?
You could say that.
Okay. I would name one of the kids Will Robinson.
If I would name my droid.
Yeah.
But yeah, so
Oh shit, they're gonna have a droid. This is why time travel is possible. This has already all happened.
all has happened before and will happen. So, but yeah, I watched the interview with Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau. Yeah, I not too much came up, but basically, these are the main things that they're working on. And so, yeah, Mando season 3. Yeah, I still got to check that out. Ahsoka, I'm going to check out. Andor, I'm going to give it a chance. I have to at least give
Yeah.
it a chance because they're actually getting past, as far as the newer shows, they're getting past the quote unquote the canon, the OG stuff. Ahsoka, she's more newer canon, newer Star Wars, and I just like the character. But yeah,
I do
I'm
too.
definitely
I mean, I like Rosario Dawson just like you do. So
yeah, that's one. See that's the whole thing. She's definitely one of those characters that she was not popular when they started. A lot of people did not like that character, and just through tried and true, like character development, they made a very likable and popular character. And Star Wars can do that again. It's not because I don't credit Disney with Ahsoka popularity at all. That's
no,
that's
she was
more
out before
Filoni.
that.
Yeah, that's more Filoni first stuff. That's I'll give that more to Filoni. George Lucas second with that, but it's just a well developed character, and it's one of those we always talk about on the shows character development. Like a lot of times when you start off a character, they are not liked. You have to make the people like your characters. It can be hard. It can be tedious, but once you get the fans on board with one of your characters, they'll love them forever. You just got to put in the work.
That's right.
So, one thing. Did you ever finish Kenobi?
No, forgot
No.
about it.
Yeah. So, one thing that also came out. So there was an article. Ewan McGregor was talking at a panel at the Fan Expo in Boston, and let it slip. Basically, the original premise for the Kenobi show was a show about him and Luke, and not a show about him and Leia.
Really?
Yes, and that was rumors from way before. The rumor mills. That was one of the rumors that was always kind of in the background there. That there was original premise for a show, and that there were major rewrites, and that was always the big rumors that it was originally a Luke and Obi-Wan show, not Leia.
I'm not pro using either one of them as kids. They shouldn't have touched that.
No. There was you could do no good by going there.
Now that Vader scene where he's dragging people through the street and he burns Obi-Wan, that was really cool, but that didn't have to be Obi-Wan.
Nope.
That could have been somebody else. It could have been a Vader, a Vader show. Is something you can do because he had no interaction as far as we know. Well, he had no interaction according to what was written at the time, and they should stick with that. I just feel they should stick with that instead of trying to reinvent the wheel.
Yeah, there was no net gain to come from that because it's one of those things that, like, hey, I'm telling a story about Adam. I'm telling the story about Adam and I as kids, and we can throw as much death and terror or whatever you want to say, like, to spice up the story. But at the end of the day, everybody knows Adam's here. Adam came through. It's just one of those, like, Adam clearly did not die. So
that's right. I made it.
And that was kind of the thing with Star Wars, where it's like, well, we know nothing happens to Luke, and we know nothing really happens to Leia, so there's no net gain. There's only net loss, and that was a net loss for DC, or not DC. I'm used to saying DC, for Disney.
It was.
All right, Adam.
No, I agree with that 100%.
Speaking of DC, typically we talk about negative stuff. We're actually going to talk about some positive stuff. This might be some of the Zazoff effect.
Okay.
So,
hit me with it. I'm surprised it's positive.
Have you heard of a young man, not that young anymore, this comic book artist / creator His name is Mark Silvestri. Have you heard of him?
Yes, I'm very familiar with Mark Silvestri.
Did you know that he is doing a Batman story? New
Yeah.
Batman
Yes.
and
Yes.
Joker series by Mark Silvestri announced.
You sent this to me. Yes.
Yeah. So Batman, the Joker, the Deadly Duo was revealed by DC Comics. Mark Silvestri leads a DC Black Label series. He writes and illustrates. Fans will get their hands on the dark take on Gotham this November. The Clown Prince of Crime and Dark Knight are actually teaming up in this title. Something big is brewing in the city, and it will
What?
take both of their considerable skills to address the threat. Silvestri is known for his work with DC his work with DC for decades now. However, this is only the second time he's provided interior art for the company. The previous efforts were in 1996's Batman Black and White. So anybody who's unfamiliar with Mark Silvestri, he usually sticks to his own image label, Top Cow, which is The Darkness, Witchblade, all those awesome tales. So Mark Silvestri, Adam, has always been one of my absolute favorite artists, and I am 100% checking this out.
I am too. I'm just a little like, why are they teaming up? But
Well,
let's
that's
check it
the
out.
intrigue. That's why we have to find out why. So,
I'll get on that bus, Nick. It's hard for me to get on that bus, but I'll get on it.
yeah, I'm getting on it for sure. I'm all on the Silvestri train. Like I said, he's been one of my favorite artists since I've been collecting. So,
Oh, he's one of my favorite artists too. That Harley Quinn right there is awesome.
yeah.
Batman looks awesome too. I'm glad they're going with his rebirth look. I mean, looks like New 52, doesn't it? A little bit.
A little bit.
That's what I meant to say. Yeah, that threw me off about them teaming up. But like you said, it's Silvestri, so I'm going to give it a chance. And I'm excited to see his artwork.
So, and just giving CBR their credit here. So this article is from CBR. And here's how DC Comics describes the upcoming title. The conflict between Batman and the Joker has been one of the most storied in all of literature. I like how they class that up in literature. Always adversaries, they've rarely had to work together, but this November, iconic storyteller Mark Silvestri tells the ultimate tale of a fragile alliance between the Dark Knight and the Clown Prince of Crime in Batman the Joker, the Deadly Duo, a 7-issue DC Black Label series arriving in comic stores, participating digital platforms on Tuesday, November 1st. So, and they also dropped a description for issue 2. Batman and the Joker's relationship is off to a rocky start, but differences need to be put aside in a hurry as another piece of Commissioner Gordon is delivered to the Gotham City Police Department. That can't be good.
No, that doesn't sound good at all.
They can work together fast. Wow, there's something left of Jim Gordon. Sweet Jesus, what are you doing to Jim Gordon? Oh boy.
Yeah. Driving him mad, I guess. Beyond. I wonder if Punchline's going to be in it. Do you know Punchline?
Yeah, that's basically Harley Quinn's replacement.
Yeah, she's sick though. She's sick in the head.
So, all right, Adam. More DC news. What gets better than that? Well, let's see here. When I read this, my 12-year-old brain squeed so hard. Jim Lee's Wildcats gets its first new series in 12 years. The classic
I'm like, wow, my heart's beating.
The classic Wildstorm. Hold on. It gets better. The classic Wildstorm squad of the 1990s returns in an all-new series that updates the Wildcats and pits them against the Court of Owls.
Okay.
All right, and if that's not good, hold on. Just look at this freaking mask. Talk about that's what I'm doing for Halloween. I'm doing that for Halloween.
That's awesome. That is awesome.
Yeah, this is yeah, like I said, I read this and I'm like, yep. Now, something I'm slightly concerned about, or maybe I don't know, because I don't think I've ever actually read any of the DC Wildcat stuff. It seems to be a switch from just going off the images here, where Grifter is the lead, but Spartan in the original comics was the lead.
Hey, do you see who's in the background?
I do see who's in the background. So you got a Deathblow,
That's not what I'm talking about.
Fairchild,
Yeah, Fairchild. What the hell?
Gold. Yeah, I'd say I don't know if this is. It's just one of the images that's attached to the story, but
Well, that's fantastic. If they're not going to do Gen 13, at least Fairchild should be up and kicking.
yeah, they should see. And here's one of those conversations that I wish we had for the show, when we talked about like really simple, cool stories to bring over that you could dig into Wildstorm for and really mine, which was the Team 7 story, which leads into the Gen 13 story.
Yeah, it does.
So if you don't know what the Team 7 story is, so Team 7 was okay. So I'm going off of the image version. I don't know how much of it made it, like I said, made it over into DC.
Oh, there was a new 52 Team 7.
Was there? Okay, I didn't read that. So,
was
but
difficult.
Was it?
I mean, they had Black Canary was in it. Grifter was in it.
Okay.
Fairchild was in it.
So
Black Canary's.
It didn't make sense at all.
Yeah, like Black Canary's husband Lance was in it. So it was Dinah Drake. It wasn't. What's her name? The one we know and love. Katie Cassidy's Black Canary. Dinah Laurel Lance. Thank you.
So, but yeah, that's totally one of those. If they just did a Team 7, that would be so easy. It's ridiculous. So.
Yeah, but with no Amanda Waller.
Yeah,
because the last one had Amanda Waller.
Well, here's all right. So hold on. All right. For the first, well, took away. Now I'm gonna bring it back.
Those were good. Those were good miniseries, though. They really were.
Yeah, they were. For the first time in over a decade, Jim Lee's Wildcats are hitting comic shops with a brand new series that will see them facing none other than Gotham City's Court of Owls. Written by Matthew Rosenberg and illustrated by Stephen Segovia. Apologize if I know I'm saying that wrong. The issue sees Cole Cash, better known as a red mask wearing, gun toting renegade grifter, working for the Halo Corporation. So that's the same. To assemble a group of operatives with the goal of completing missions in the outskirts of the DC universe. The team's first task is to round up the elite group of scientists, but their mysterious leader, Void, seems to have other plans. Meanwhile, the Court of Owls lurks in the shadows, and the showdown between both organizations is imminent.
Sounds good.
Yeah, I was reading an article earlier where I thought they were going to have a thing between the Suicide Squad and Wildcats, and I was like, please don't do that. Or maybe it already happened, but
when you said you thought, do you remember that commercial we always used to reference? That they had a little girl talking to somebody, but her voice was dubbed over with like an Italian gangster or Joe Pesci. This guy's like, well, I thought, and the little girl goes, you thought? You thought?
What?
We talked about that all the time. I always caught. I can't even remember what it was a commercial for. We used to laugh our ass off at that.
But yeah, I saw those in my, like I said, my 12-year-old. The 12-year-old inside me went, yes. So, for once, positive stuff that I am absolutely looking forward to. Now, the reason I say that is possibly related to Zaslav stuff. Is this is the first like positive, good DC Comics news I've heard in a long time.
No, I agree. I mean, something worth reading.
Yeah, something where you know, Adam's a digital comic guy. I'm a physical comic guy. Where I'm sitting there, I was like, yeah, I'm getting that. Actually, I'll show you something I picked up. And let me give you one quick guess. One quick guess as to why I bought this comic book.
Well, you're froze on my side. I can't see.
Well, hold on.
Well,
All right. How about now?
mm-mm.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, there we go. Grifter. I see Grifter now.
Yep. And you got
Awesome.
some demon. So this is Flashpoint Beyond number 4. This is a variant cover. I had to pay it actually pretty penny for this one, but I don't care because it has Grifter on the cover. So.
How's that storyline going anyway?
It's yeah, I like it. I'm gonna have to do a review on the series because it's one of those things that I've trailed off and I started reviewing the first few issues. I might just have to do a video where I catch up the last few issues, but it's really good. They're working. I never read the Flashpoint series, so I never got to see like what a bastard Thomas Wayne is. But the man's just a bastard.
Oh God, yes, he is.
There's I think it's issue 3 where he finds some thugs and he's literally just starts beating the life out of them, and he eventually pulls the gun. He's you know basically starts toying with them, and as soon as he's about to pull the trigger, what's Superman's character? Is it Specimen One or
Yeah.
Specimen One? You know, he breaks his wrist, and like it's just holding him. He's like, yeah, no, we're not doing that today. So it's really that's Jeff Johns, right? So
which one? Flashpoint.
Yeah. Well, he's doing Flashpoint. He's doing Beyond as well. So
as he should.
Yeah.
Cool. He crushed it with Doomsday Clock. And if you guys out there disagree with me, I don't care.
Fight me. Fight me on the internet.
I already won. It was good.
But I'm really enjoying it. One of the things that we've been doing the show for almost a year now. We're coming up pretty quickly on a 1-year anniversary
next month.
But one of the things that I was letting everybody know, I was out of comics for about 20 years. I kept up on comics. I just didn't collect. I try and keep up on the news with them, see what's new, what's relevant, but all on the outside. So basically out of it for 20 years. So getting back into it, I missed a lot of stuff like Flashpoint and Rebirth, New 52. I tried, like I said, I tried my best to keep up with it, but it's just impossible if you're not into it.
Rebirth is not as exciting as New 52. Like, I guess the smoke has settled from it, but bad news from DC Comics as of late, right? So it didn't settle well. New 52 was action packed, had good stories.
Yeah. I know one thing I got into with collecting with my son was because he was always a Joker fan, so we started reading, just the graphic novels of the new 52 or Rebirth. It had to be New 52 of Suicide Squad. So,
oh sure, yeah.
So because we were excited when the first Suicide Squad came out, not as excited after it came out, but so that, and for some odd reason, even while collecting, I was always an Image guy first. Always enjoyed it. Marvel, DC, a little bit more, but since I've been back, I've been collecting way more DC stuff than anything.
Yeah, I would collect Marvel, but I just never. They haven't put out anything that I really like except for that Thor story with the God Butcher.
Yeah, you let me borrow that. Actually, I have to give that back to you.
Did you read it? Oh yeah, you read it.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, read that, and then the only other thing that's really piqued my interest was the Thor Hulk series or the miniseries. Damn it! No, I forgot. I had on the damn it, the latest Hulk and Thor series, the banner or something. I had on. Completely left my brain. Completely.
No, it's Hulk and Thor spend a weekend at Dollywood.
Yes, yes. Dolly Parton's there. You get a dinner and a show. It's a good time.
We love Dolly Parton on this podcast.
Who doesn't love Dolly Parton?
I don't know, but they'll break your door down and arrest you if you do.
She'll come and knock your door down with her boobs alone.
Nah, she's one of the, she's. I've listened to her being interviewed on like NPR. Oh my gosh, talk about somebody just genuinely nice.
Just like a sweetest lady ever.
Do you know how she got her look?
Besides getting beat by her husband.
Well, I don't know if it was her first husband that beat her, but the husband she's with now, she's been with for years, and they're good. But she saw a woman in town and thought she was gorgeous, and she said, "I want to dress like that." It turns out she was a hooker, and she was a little girl and didn't know. So she says, so her joke has always been, "It costs a lot to look this cheap."
Right. That's right.
That's what she always says. It costs a lot to look this cheap.
That's right. So, what else would I say? Oh, another thing. Now, a little bad DC news, or at least rumored DC. It's actually DC EU news. Is
Oh no, I hear. I know what you're gonna say.
yeah. So it is rumored that Robert Pattinson's Batman
Oh,
is going to be phased out, and part of the 10-year plan is that's kind of being left on the cutting room floor, if you will, and they'll just be starting anew with a new Batman. So
good.
okay,
Want to know why?
that's why we're here.
Fuck it all up, and in 10 years, Pattinson will be older. They'll be like, there was this 86 comic called The Dark Knight Returns, Rob. Would you like to play Batman again? No. Here's $1 billion, Rob. That's fuck you money. Okay.
Yep. Like I've got plenty of that, but I'll take some more.
Then you can do a Joker.
Right. Yeah. So I did see an article that was like everything that's confirmed that we know of, and it was totally a clickbaity article, but everything that we know is confirmed is so far Black Adam, Shazam 2, Blue Beetle still a go. That one did not hit the chopping block. What else? So we got Joker 2, and I think there might be a couple more that I'm missing, but that's Aquaman 2, Shazam 2, Black Adam, Joker.
You know, the odds of them ever doing any kind of Dark Knight Returns, let alone with Robert Pattinson, is very bleak. So if they do end up phasing out the Robert Pattinson, the Batman stuff, fuck you.
There we go. That's a happy message.
Yeah.
So, but other than that, my friend, is there anything else we got to talk about today?
Yeah, it was a really good movie. That was like one of the best Batman movies ever.
No, I agree. Yeah, the Batman, I liked it.
I know.
It was good. All right. Was it long? Yeah, it was. Could have been cut off about 45 minutes early. Yeah, sure. But
Everything
they didn't, and I was okay with it.
Though. Except for that Joker scene, everything counted as far as like character development just for Batman.
Well, that's what we talked about before the movie came out. It's like, if it's 3 hours of bloat, I don't want to see it. But if it's 3 hours of setting stuff up, I'm okay with it. And it was 3 hours of setting stuff up.
What? Oh, okay, yeah, 3 hours. Like, what? But no, at the end, when he knows he has to become something more and he's there in the daylight helping people get out, that's Batman. That's Batman. So.
Right. So, all right, Adam, let's wrap it up. Let's see here. There is one comic I want to talk about real quick.
Did you want to open She-Hulk?
Yeah, let's open She-Hulk.
All right, here she is. Marvel Legends. This year's Hasbro. Marvel Legends She-Hulk.
Hold on, you're frozen, so.
Uh-oh. Am I still frozen?
Raggy.
Row.
Move around.
Good?
Shake it up. Shake what your mom. All right. Let's just. Yeah, you're still frozen, so we're just gonna. There we go. Okay, unfrozen.
There we go.
Go ahead.
She's got 2 heads in there. She's got a calm face. She's got an angry face, and the cool thing about the angry face is they actually colored in her eyes. So she's got like normal blue eyes when she's Hulk, but when she's pissed, she's got the Hulk eyes that that you get when you change. So that's kind of cool. So let me grab my knife here. If you can see the back, got some really cool art there in the back, and it says Jennifer Walters mutates into She-Hulk, a massive muscled green hero with boundless strength and the will to do good. And it says the same thing over and over again in different languages. All right. Okay, we got 2 extra hands here. Okay. Well, we're not going to screw around with the hands. Let's see if we can get this head in here. Can you see this head? You see the eyes at all? It's too.
No, you froze up again. So.
Well, that sucks. All right. Anybody? Can you see this?
There it goes. Yeah.
There we go. There she is. She-Hulk. I've had her for a while. I should have opened her a while ago, but I must have been meant to open her tonight. Oh, there we go. Her head. Okay, so she's got a hinge for a neck on a ball joint. So that's cool. And then, oh yeah, this mean face. I'm digging it. I'm going into Marvel Legends. I'm just not going deep. It's not like priority, but once here and there, I'm getting them. So yeah, she's got the thigh swivel, ankles, double jointed knees, double jointed elbows too, wrists that turn. So yeah, I mean, this is a badass figure. This is one of Marvel Legends' best. They don't usually. Sometimes when they miss.
Yeah, they right now have out a Wolverine figure that's got the orange claws because they're supposed to be super heated. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna get that because I need a Wolverine.
They've got him, and they've got the Banshee, or Siren. I mean, and Sabretooth at Target at DeQuinder and 14, between 14 and 13.
Yeah, I need a good Sabretooth. It's not top priority, but I want like old school 90s Sabretooth where he's like super ridiculously jacked and doesn't have a neck.
That's not this one.
I know.
This one's the bucket. The buck for it is a reused buck. It's not a big Sabretooth, but what you're looking for is out there.
Yeah, but I don't know if it's in the right scale, though. That's the other problem.
Yeah.
Because that's the thing I like that at least a lot of modern toys are doing is, because everything back in the day was, maybe a 5-inch figure. The biggest guy was still 5 inches. The 3 3/4 guy, everybody was the same size. It's one thing I really like that McFarlane's doing is if it's a big guy, he's gonna be like the new Bane. The new Bane is a mountain of a freaking figure compared to Batman. So
yeah, speaking of that, Planet Houston. Let's see. Silly old Big Bad Toy Store. Steals all my money. Steals. As I willingly give it over. Big Bad Voodoo Daily. Daddy. Oh, I don't think I want to click on that one. Oh, shit. The computer picked it. I said Big Bad Toy Store. The Big Bad Daddy.
We're not going into the that's not ska. That's what is that? Big Bad Voodoo Daddy. That's an old school big band sounding.
Dude, they've got a Jennifer Walters from the TV show up for pre-order right now. Does anybody at home want to see it?
No. All right.
Oh, all right. I'll share my screen. This is pretty solid. I like mine better because I like comic book. But this looks nice.
That's a good looking figure.
Yeah. Oh wow.
How
She
tall
actually
is
looks.
she?
Yeah. Did you say tall?
Yeah, how tall?
6-inch scale, 15.24 centimeters.
Was that part of what's that build a figure for then?
It looks like an Ultron or something. Hold on.
Do you see the Bait Ray Bill?
Yes, I have.
That's a good looking figure. Adam's working Excel real quick.
Well, we gotta find out. Infinity
Ultron.
Ultron. Yeah. Yeah, Infinity
You
Ultron.
just have to buy all the Moon Knight and the Miss Marvel.
Yeah,
and the Hawk Girl. Hawk
you gotta
Man.
buy. Yeah, you gotta buy all fucking TV and movie shit.
All right, so where is Infinity Ultron coming into the damn TV series then?
Probably
Like,
not.
on
It's
the
just
Hulk?
no, it's probably the only. I don't know. It's probably just
Bullshit.
like, oh, here we go. I don't know. Here we go. Yeah, I'm working Excel right now. Okay, then we got. Yeah, then we're back to one. Anyways, yeah. Mm-hmm. Fucking big bad toy store though. Boom. Dickety bam.
Yeah, Hasbro did some fans dirty. We'll talk about that in a future show.
It's
Like,
still processing.
they discontinued a lot of Star Wars stuff.
Who did?
Hasbro, I think. I don't know if they discontinued because I saw Nerdzoic, who's another YouTuber. He does mostly toys. Are we good? All right, we're picking it.
So there you go. There's She-Hulk. Really wish you guys could see the eyes. Maybe I'll do a review on it.
Yeah.
This is fucking cool. This makes me want to go play. Because I've got the 20th anniversary Incredible Hulk.
Yeah, that 20th anniversary line. I still need that Captain America you've got. I really like that Wolverine. That's out right now. That's got the red orange claws. But there's not too much. I kind of like that Thor too. I forget which Thor is that.
Isn't that the one that you got?
No, it's the newer one. It's from the newer comics.
Could you give me a moment? I have to go to the bathroom. Sorry, buddy.
Hi. It's just me and you right now. How's it going, internet? So let's look up toys real quick. So I'm gonna look up the Thor Legends. And there it is. So it's a Target exclusive. So I really like this one, Marvel Legends series Thor action figure. Let's get Ravens. Let's get everything that we got going on here. Ooh, the video. It's fun. Oh yeah. I love the glowing hammer, the white eyes. I'm a big fan of white eyes when it comes to you gotta have the white eyes when it comes to comic book stuff. Why won't it show me that? There it goes. Okay. All right. So Legend series Thor. Thor does the unthinkable when he becomes the newest herald of Galactus, aligning with the Great Devourer to develop an even greater threat. Okay. So, yeah, I'm a fan of this. You get, let's see, the glowing hammer, actually the electrified hammer, a couple new fists, and 2 ravens to go with it. That is cool. I might have to check that out. So that's what I was talking about. Adam back in. Adam is serious. There you are.
I got a question for you then.
True.
I see you're looking at a Thor. Ever since you read that Thor comic, like, have you got like a newfound love for Thor?
Yes, I do.
Me too.
This
That's how
this one comes with ravens.
It's awesome.
Look, it's got birds. Look at that.
I love when you get accessories like that.
Yeah, and I love the Mjolnir here where it's all electrified and blue. So that's awesome.
That's sweet.
And then the build a figure. So
Oh, I don't know the controller.
yeah, I don't know. That's
Who's
more
the girl
Marvel
with-
stuff that I don't know about. So what's that?
Who's the girl with the green hair? Is that Polaris? Oh.
That is Madam Hydra.
Oh.
So this line is Iron Man, Thor, Blue Marvel, Madam Hydra, Marvel's Speedball, Marvel's Quake, and U.S. Agent.
Do you know who is playing Madam Hydra in the Marvel Cinematic Universe?
No.
Julia Louis-Dreyfus.
Oh,
Yeah. She's in Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
yeah. I knew she was in something. I couldn't remember what she was in. So, all right. Hold on. I have to do the thing. One of the things that I'm reading, Adam, is Chip Zdarsky's public domain. It's over on Image. I think it's originally from Substack. So this comic's it's completely different from anything I've ever read. It's not really superhero related. It's much more a comic based in reality, but dealing with the superhero universe, kind of like from reality. So the main character's father is a comic creator. So he's essentially kind of like Stan Lee, but not. And so the main character who in the universe he helped create is public domain, and he's like the Superman, Captain America. You know, he's the best. Everybody loves him, and so they've been basically. It's essentially the real life Marvel universe that they call it. Domain. So it really gets into kind of how real life creators really get screwed over by the big publishers and how they've gotten screwed over for years.
Well, yeah, because it's all they still do work for hire, and as long as work for hire is legal,
Yeah,
bullshit.
It's more a commentary on the relationship creator between creators and publishers, and basically how they essentially, for decades and decades, and still to an extent, they still really get screwed over. But that's why you have publishers like Image. That's why Image was created. You had at the time the top talent from DC, Marvel walk away, start their own company because they wanted creative control and basically the rights to their own stuff. And that's really what this entails. And if you want something completely different but yet a good story, check out Chip Zdarsky's public domain. I picked up the first issue. The second issue just came out recently as well. So I am definitely giving this a recommend if you want to. I'll say this. If you kind of want to know the behind the scenes as to how the sausage is made, if you will. So.
I'll tell you right now, if it wasn't for work for hire, that Batwoman movie or TV show never would have happened. If Greg Rucka was allowed to retain the rights to his character, that show wouldn't have happened.
It reminds me a lot of what's the I I know is Bob Kane, and who's the other?
Bill Finger.
Bill Finger. It's I think it's based a lot. Chip Zdarsky's Public Domain is based a lot kind of that relationship where you have the main, essentially Bob Kane figure, and you still got just the artist who no one really cares, no one really knows who he is, but he was the actual driving force behind uh, the creator, and it's just behind the character, I should say.
Well, Bob Kane created Batman, who was a blonde guy in a domino mask with a hang glider and a red T-shirt.
Right.
Bill Finger comes up with the cape, the cowl, the symbol. Then Bill Finger creates Bruce Wayne. Then he creates Commissioner Gordon. Then he creates Alfred.
Essentially, the foundation of the modern day Batman.
Yeah, I mean, he didn't. Dick Sprang created the Joker.
But everybody knows. But everybody remembers Bob Kane.
At the time, he's thanks to God. There's a guy. Well, Neil Adams is part of it. Things Neil Adams did in the past for Siegel and Schuster, who created Superman. So that's where this started. There's a guy who I don't know his name, but there is a documentary on Netflix called like My Friend Bill or something like that. Just look up Bill Finger Batman. But it's really good. It's kind of heartbreaking, but it's really good. And everybody in the industry knew it at the time.
Well, that's you said it right there. It's really heartbreaking because it's as much as you want to say it's corporate greed at its worst. It's the people who actually created, did the hard work of creating the character, developing the character, still drawing the character for decades and decades, and they still don't make nothing compared to what Marvel makes.
And I'll
I'll say Marvel and DC because DC is just as guilty of it.
Oh, they're the first offender.
Yeah,
they are the first offender. I mean, that's why there's a so-called Superman curse. Blah blah blah. But to put a little bit of defense towards Bob Kane, it was a shitty thing he did, real shitty thing he did. However, he was smart enough. His dad was a lawyer, I think, and he was smart enough to do things the right way. He retained ownership of Batman. Yeah. That's unheard of for that time.
Well, and then a few decades later, that's why George Lucas's deal was so. It turned out to be groundbreaking because no one thought, "Oh, we'll just give you the merchandising and toy rights. What are you going to do with those?" And build an empire. No big deal.
When you think about the success of Star Wars over all the years, and then just the success of Batman and Superman and Spider-Man over all the years, when you think of people like Stan Lee, can you imagine what it's going to be like for this podcast in like 3 years? I would set you up for that. He just starts laughing. No, I can't.
Hopefully we got more subscribers.
He's like, maybe a couple more hundred. I'm joking around about that. I mean, I'm grateful for everyone, but I was going nowhere. It was just a big one.
I say we just. I mean, it's one of those things where there's a reason we created the show, and there's a platform like YouTube for people like us where you see fans done wrong, and then at the same time you realize that the creators were done wrong for a long time as well. So it's more of a current issue with the fans being disrespected to the level that they have, where the creators were still disrespected all the time. So it's really kind of a gross business at the root of it. So but it's also and that's really the shame of it, because you had the the really old school guys. They just loved writing. They loved the art. They loved the whole concept of superheroes, and essentially get taken advantage of. It's just it's really heartbreaking, like you said.
You know DC Comics, right? They
I've heard of them.
yeah. Uh, so Julie Schwartz was running it right around the time of the Silver Age began to start. All the writers and artists and stuff, they just wanted a little something more like insurance for their families. So what they did was fired all of them and just hired new people, and that's how Denny O'Neil and all them came in. And they talk about that, like, but we needed to eat too, And these guys were just grinding it out. Guys are just grinding it out. Can you imagine that? Just like we do every day, grinding it out for a paycheck.
Yep. Well, and that's I know you don't listen to that also, but the Clownfish channel, another good channel. Neon was the guy who worked at Disney. I think he worked on like the DuckTales or Scrooge McDuck, one of those books where he's an artist, and just one of those, like, at the end of the day, like, he was doing what he loved, but couldn't make it work. They just didn't pay enough. And you think, oh, he's working for Disney, and be like, it don't matter, man, unless you you're top tier talent or top movie star. They don't care about you. They just want comic books to keep the machine going.
That's it.
Well, on that happy note.
Do-do-do-do.
So, all right, we're gonna start wrapping it up. So this Tuesday, August 23rd, we have our friends Knights of the Chihuahua coming over. They're not coming over, but they're joining us on the show. They have an indie comic by the same name, Night of Chihuahuas. Go check that out. Go show them some love over on Instagram. And if you like it, pick up a comic or two. That's the issue right there that Adam's holding. So if you like horror, if you like comedy, you will like Night of the Chihuahuas. So
one other thing. There's one other like good storytelling. If you like good storytelling, it's there.
Yeah, it's I think Dave's the author. Nate is kind of the producer. He kind of keeps everything going. I know Nate's coming on. I forget who he said someone else is coming on, but not everybody. I don't think Dave's gonna make it this time.
Okay.
But we're gonna have some more people from the creative team. And
great.
Yeah, it's just a sit down talk comics. If you really want to get, if you have any interest in any comics, check this episode out. We're gonna kind of get into the nuts and bolts of what it really takes to get an independent book off the ground, the cost of things. So if you go to their website, like, hey, those comics are a little pricey, trust me, that's as cheap as they can possibly make it, because making your own comic books, like Marvel and DC, like the comics, like the writers and those guys, they don't have to worry about like how much paper costs. The indie guys, they actually have to care about how much paper costs and how much ink costs and how much the printers cost. Those are all the things that they have to take into account. Where the big guys over at Marvel and DC, they aren't worrying about that. They're just trying to put together a comic where that's the stuff I find fascinating, is what does it really take from soup to nuts? What does it take to get a comic book from someone's brain to your hands? So we're going to talk about that. Plus, we're going to talk about just indie comics. We might touch on the Acetate Gate thing a little bit more, just because that kind of does get into the indie comic scene a little bit too. So, but we got a bunch of stuff that we're going to talk about. It's going to be a good time. We're going to geek out. And that's about it. Adam, anything you want to add, sir?
Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing.
Yeah, if you want to interact with us or see what we might be talking about on the show, go check us out on Facebook and Instagram at The Escape with Nick and Adam. If you have not yet subscribed, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. It really helps the channel out, helps us grow, help us get out to more folks. But don't like us just because I said so. If you like us, watch some of our episodes, see what you like, see if you don't like. If you like what we're doing, give us a like and a subscribe. If you don't, leave us a comment. Like the one guy who said my one video was unlistenable. I disagree, but thanks for the feedback.
Yeah, really appreciate it.
Appreciate that. So, but if you want to download our show and take us with you, we are on all the major podcast platforms: Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, and Audacity. Not Audacity. Audible, and Google Podcasts. So Audacity, that's an audio editing program.
The audacity.
The Audacity. So once again, go check us out. We'll see you on Tuesday, and we'll see you next time.
Good night, Planet Houston.
Good night, America.